you're here. Hey, y'all. Okay. I'm looking. Something stick. Alright. This right here. All right, ready? This will be the officially the last 48-hour reading check-in before we transition into the weeklies. You guys ready? The weeklies are going to be Mondays, okay? So I decided Mondays. And I also decided to change the spiritual book club meetings. Instead of midnight, it's going to be 12 p.m. on Saturdays Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Central Time for and I guess we'll be starting that next Saturday, okay? Because people were having issues with timing and stuff like that, so we'll see. Again, like I said, book club is completely free. All right. All you have to do is register. I will go ahead and drop the link below. You'll find it either in the description or in the pinned comments. Okay. And if you can't find it below, you can find it in the recent. So the last live stream that I did, you will find it in that pinned comment. Okay. In the comment section. If you can't find it there, which you should, but you can also just go to my website. All right. Everybody ready? All right. I do have availability when it comes to booking, and I do have a new deck that I will be breaking in today. We have the Oh Hell Nah Love Edition deck for those of you that are interested in regards to love situations and dynamics. Okay? This is what she looks like. All right. I'm pretty excited about this deck. Okay. First, let's go with your energy reading. That's 48 hours. With your ancestors. Those that are guiding you, those that are protecting you, those that are helping you navigate through life, those that can assist you with your finances and with your plans and your goals and your relationships and your healing journey. I'm going to call those ancestors in. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so we have balance energy. So make sure that you are staying in touch with not just what your body's saying to you, but also from a spiritual level, okay? There's something here in regards to making sure that you have your mind and your spirit aligned, but also your body and like whatever you're actively doing, okay? In order to restore some sort of harmony. What else? You have a guardian here helping you restore harmony into your life. You need to establish some sort of boundaries from your spiritual body, your spiritual essence, your etherical body, your auric field, your astral body. Okay, everybody calls it different things. So your spirit needs to be protected. There has to be some sort of boundaries. And so, what you expose yourself to from a spiritual perspective, who you expose yourself to, meaning being vulnerable, or expose yourself to, meaning putting yourself in those circumstances, places, and situations, right? There's something about having boundaries also from a mental capacity, all right? Not not allowing yourself to go into a downward spiral, not allowing yourself to steep and sit and stew on lower vibrational emotions, or stew on things that have not happened, or yeah, there's something about like it has not happened or it will not occur, but it could be a fear or something like that. So there's some sort of boundaries here that you need to set in order to restore your energy. So this is like regaining your power, right? Some of you guys, ritual offerings are significant from a spiritual perspective. This has to do for those of you that, again, you honor your ancestors, you honor deities, you have some sort of spiritual practice or tradition that requires rituals, okay? And so ritual offerings are here. You have a guardian that would like actually to receive some sort of offerings. We have leaf flowers, which is so funny because today I just got flowers for my altar to refresh it. So it may be time for you guys to refresh your altars, swap out flowers. If things are kind of dying or withering away, you can go ahead and throw them out. I'd rather for me to grab those same flowers and then leave it at like the trunk of the tree, like at the foot of the tree, because you can still offer the energy to earth, um because I just feel I would just feel better than to just throw it out in the trash. I don't know, that's just me. But you can leave it at the foot of a tree, or for those of you that want to take it a step further, you can take it to some sort of water and throw it in the water, meaning like a river or a creek or a lake or something like that, and basically you're just giving it back to nature. Okay. There is some sort of opportunities coming in. And since we're talking about your energy, there's something about like there's the guardian that's walking with you in the next 48 hours, or at least the guardian that you are presenting this offering to, confirmation. It may, be helping you with finances, maybe helping you with your career, maybe helping you with clients, maybe helping you, navigate some sort of finances or luck. Again, unseen opportunities coming in. There's a possibility overload. Okay, some of you guys, you need to go to the ocean or the river where you're being called to water. Okay, and this is for protection purposes. All right. And then I'm also seeing more options are going to be available to you. And this is because this guardian is restoring harmony. And it has something to do with these ritual offerings, okay? Anything else? So they're also communicating to you through spiritual synchronicities and also your mind. So pay attention to the ideas and the thoughts that come up in your head, all right? There's frequency shifts in the mind and in your spiritual essence, your spiritual energy. You must act with intention is what this guardian is saying, okay? Ask yourself what boundary needs to be honored right now for you in the next 48 hours. Or just in general, but I'm just saying like within the next 40 hours could be very significant. Identify the source of anger, okay? We mentioned this. I mentioned this. I literally said that last night for last night's live stream about the anger. Did it happen yet for you guys? Did something kind of like resurface for you? Or did something kind of like put you in that testy position, right? And if you guys didn't check that reading out and you missed it or whatever, you might need to kind of catch up. But I'm seeing this energy of like, you need to establish healthy boundaries. And I think it has to go further than just saying it. I that's one of the things that I'm going to discuss in the spiritual book club anyway, because I talk about that in my book. about establishing healthy boundaries even within a relationship, so that way you don't lose yourself. And sometimes it doesn't have to be love, it doesn't have to be, doesn't have to be like family or work, but it's just in general, you have to know how to like, you need to know, kind of like a punch bowl, right? Think of yourself as a punch bowl. All right, everybody has punch bowls. All right, everybody's a punch bowl. If I decide to pour into a relationship, I'm pouring from my punch bowl. I'm grabbing and I'm pouring into your punch bowl. There should be an exchange. There should be an exchange of that. But if I'm pouring into an empty punch bowl, eventually I shall be empty if I'm not being poured into. And that's in any connection, period. It doesn't have to have anything to do with intimacy or love or money or anything like that, you know? And so that's what this guardian spirit is here for. It's kind of like to protect you, kind of like, think about like spiritual guidelines, or like a bodyguard almost. Like if something kind of like, if you kind of let something slide, they're not going to let something slide, like, I don't know. And so they're also saying like, but you got to act with intention, because if you don't act with purpose and you don't act with like, that follow through, that like, moving with purpose, basically, you're going to fall out of alignment. And a lot of times you go through that. And so like they're saying, for you to stay in spiritual alignment, you have to make sure that you are not overlooking the possibilities that they're sending your direction. Okay. Because they're assuring you that this is going to have the best outcome, but they don't want you, again, with the mind and the spirit. They want you to get your mind and spirit right. And I talk a lot about spiritual health maintenance, right? Spiritual health maintenance doesn't always mean lighting a candle. It doesn't always mean, it means a whole bunch of different things for everybody. And it varies, right? Spiritual health maintenance for you in the next 48 hours might be a cleansing bath. But for somebody else, it'll be like, well, I already did that last week, or I already did that 2 days ago, right? So now that's going to look like I'm catering to my ancestors. I'm putting, some new flowers there. I'm lighting another candle. I'm spraying some sprays. I'm making sure the cloth is clean, or I'm just, stopping by and talking to them. I'm playing them some music. I'm laughing in front of them, or I'm ranting to them about this problem that I have, or whatever. It looks different for everybody, right? For some, it could be, or I'm going into deep prayer. It could be, I'm really getting focused on my journaling. I'm really getting focused on really maybe doing some sort of healing, maybe doing acupuncture, maybe doing Reiki, maybe doing yoga or Pilates, or something that kind of gets you back from the outside world back into yourself and into your body, like in the present moment, into your spirit, right? Where you're not thinking about, oh, this hurts, or this itches, or this is a pain in the ass, or I'm confused, or I'm angry, or I'm frustrated. No, you're just here. Just glad to be here. Just glad to be here, fucking breathing in this moment without thinking about nothing else. Like that is coming back to spirit, your spirit. And that's what reclaiming your power looks like, And so they're saying your mind and your spirit have to work together to do that, right? And so the next 48 hours, that's how you honor your healthy boundaries. That's how you establish that. Where is it, that space in your home that is your sanctuary? Where is that space where you can journal, where you could be vulnerable? Where is that, who's that person that you can open up to and be vulnerable with? Where is that, what I would call a sacred space? Because oftentimes we have to create those sacred spaces for ourselves, especially when we No one taught us what a sacred space was, or how to hold sacred space for someone else, or how to create sacred spaces in community, right? Because oftentimes we kind of feel like we have to make a little cocoon somewhere, a little nest somewhere, and kind of hide it, right? But in reality, you should be able to, in your healing journey, find sacred space, create sacred space anywhere and everywhere you go, right? So, again, connecting back to your spirit is restoring harmony within yourself, because something was getting you out of alignment. But there's opportunities here for you. You may have a little reality check from what I'm seeing in the next 48 hours. I still got to add the other cards to this. But bear with me, because I'm just going based off of when I'm channeling them, I'm writing them down, okay? But I still have another stack to go. So we have a reality check, okay? You may be craving stability financially, emotionally, or physically, okay? Healthy boundaries. Think about that. You're trying to establish structure, certainty, things that are a for sure thing. You don't want wishy-washy anymore. And that is what is not in alignment with you. And that is what triggers the anger. Because I don't know if it's a yes or no. Don't leave me hanging. Don't sit there and not answer. Give me an answer, right? I can't take a maybe. Maybe is not in my vocabulary anymore. It is unexceptional. I can't plan with a maybe. You get what I'm saying? I can't make long-term goals and plans and manifest things with a maybe. I need a yes or a no. Because if you're giving me a no, then I know that you're an obstacle. Either you're an obstacle or distraction, you're in my way. And I told you guys, you have doors open. You have new possibilities that they are telling you not to overlook. Okay? More options are available than you actually think. Then we have healing modalities. Aromatherapy is going to be your friend next 48 hours. Flowers, all right. Some smells. Lavender is good to calm, okay? But some sort of aromatherapy to kind of soothe. We have heart chakra healing. Who's struggling with grief? Hold on. Someone struggling with grief? Let's see. Hold on. Let's give y'all a little. Hey, Google.
Hey there. How can I help you today?
Can you give me some examples of struggling with grief? My phone locked. Hold on. Don't you just love when technology? Hold on. Give me some examples of grief, experiencing grief.
Grief is a deeply personal process that manifests in many different ways. It isn't just a reaction to death. It can follow any significant loss, such as a breakup, the loss of a job, or a major life transition. Here are a few common ways people experience grief. Emotional waves. You might feel fine one moment and then suddenly feel overwhelmed by sadness, anger, or numbness the next. Physical symptoms. It is common to experience fatigue, changes in appetite, trouble sleeping, or even physical aches and pains. Cognitive fog. Many people find it difficult to concentrate, feel forgetful, or experience a sense of disbelief and brain fog. Social withdrawal. You may feel the need to isolate yourself from friends and family, or, conversely, feel a desperate need for constant connection. Searching for meaning. Grief often leads to questioning your identity, or trying to find a new normal in a a world that feels fundamentally changed. If you are going through this, please remember to be patient with yourself. There is no right way to grieve or a specific timeline for when you should feel better.
Thank you. That was insightful. And then we have discovery in the bottom of the deck for you guys. Your energy is fluctuating a lot because you're learning the transition, but it is the transition in life, the unpredictability of transition, whether it is from physical to metaphysical or from metaphysical to physical. Metaphysical to physical meaning, creating things, manifesting things, and of course, physical to metaphysical, things decaying, things dying off, things ending, things transforming, evolving, changing in ways that you've never thought it would be capable of changing. And so these are some things that you're struggling with, and it's causing the grief. Okay. So some of you guys in the heart center, that's what's in there. That's what needs to be healed. Okay. So some of you guys, you could be trying to heal a problem that you emotionally faced, or a particular era of emotional pain. You're trying to dedicate healing to that, when in fact, you should just overall focus on healing the grief, right? Because grief overall will sandwich bag the whole thing and be able to heal that whole chunk, versus you doing it piece by piece by piece, section by section by section, people by people by people, situation by situation by situation, year by year by year. You get what I'm saying? Right? Because I could be able to categorize that whole thing in one thing, and then boom, send healing to that thing and unpack it in all of those different areas, all in one shot when it comes to healing. But they're saying the most important thing is that you discover your boundaries. What's the point where you go, that's too painful, I can't handle it? No, I can't go there right now, right? And then what's the thing that, that's not that bad, I'll go ahead and start healing that. I'll start working on that. That's not a trigger. That's not something that's going to hurt me more if I dive in deeper into that particular wound when it comes to healing. Do you get what I'm saying? So I am seeing that when it comes to the heart center. So that's the heart chakra. That healing will also impact how you show, express, and receive compassion from other people. Okay. The other reality check is that you are craving. This is again, I'm talking about that stability, right? And so inconsistency is something that will trigger you. So again, with the wishy-washiness and the maybes, so inconsistency is something also that will trigger you. So doing things, either on a daily basis or on a weekly basis will actually help your nervous system and your mind kind of calm itself. Like if you have every morning I'm going to have my coffee, or every morning I'm going to have my water and my lemon, or every morning I'm going to have my tea, or, like that one thing that you have in the morning that you do, that that for sure that you're going to do every morning when you wake up, right? And then little by little add something else, right? That is going to be your spiritual ritual practice. Because it doesn't always have to be that you're calling on a spirit and stuff like that for it to be a spiritual practice. You get what I'm saying? You're just catering to your spirit, to your essence. All right. There's also this energy of spirit animal. In regards to some of you guys, you may feed animals, you may do community service for animals, you may I like to leave offerings and stuff like that for the birds. So you may feed the birds and stuff like that. This would be a great time to go ahead and do that, from what I'm seeing, because there's some sort of spiritual energy boost that will also help you. Have you ever also noticed that whenever this, like, your spirit totem, your spirit bird, your spirit animal comes around, on like how close they get, the more of a boost of energy you get that day? Do you ever notice that? And then like it depends on like which spirit animal comes around you and the energy that it presents to you. Sometimes you'll be like really bubbly and happy and giggly and really like more laughable that day than usual, or giddy. And then other times you'll be like more energized, willing to do things, redecorate, move things around, clean, reorganize, have beautiful ideas. And then other times you're more in this like dreamy manifestation, thinking of the future, kind of like paradigm hopping from side to side, because these spirit animals are giving you these like frequency jumps, if you get what I'm saying. So like, you ever like think about like Pac-Man, how you eat the little white things, right? It's like kind of like that. And then like you finally end up capturing one of the ghosts, and then you level up even more and you go faster, so it's like that type of energy. But the ghost would be your spirit animal, and the spirit animal will be basically that spirit guide that takes possession of that animal for that moment to give you that message, so that way you can kind of look at your surroundings and see what's reflected on the outside, which is within you. It'll let you know what you're going through, and it'll give you that confirmation and that synchronicity. So I am seeing an energetic transfer happening every time this spirit animal comes to you or around you. All right, so pay attention the next 48 hours. This is why I tell you guys, journal. Don't worry, you guys. I am kind of in between distributors when it comes to journals. But once I get a solid one that I really like the style, I'm going to have my journals back out, so that way you guys can purchase more. And then I'll keep y'all posted on that. But like I said, keep a journal, figure out which animals you have. I have been posting on Twitter the animal like interpretations and stuff like that. Recently, I just saw a deer and a rabbit, and they were both carcasses. Okay, and Crowleys, right? I did see crows around them. And so that means that they were feasting. And so that means that, when our spirit animals, our spirit guides are full or eating, then that means that they're being filled with energy. And so that means that you shall also be being filled with energy as well. We have this healing and happy frequency actually for you guys as well for that. I just wanted to give some insight on, there it is, release on the grief. And you got the release card with the bittersweet. Oh, she got a little birthday cake. I don't know, somebody's birthday couldn't. Oh, somebody has like something with birthdays, or someone's birthday, when somebody's birthday comes around. The grays and the blues. Stay away from the grays and the blues unless you're trying to work on communication. Go ahead and do blue, but stay away from the grays and the blues, because it's like, I think it's dragging your emotions to like spiral. So grays, blacks, and blues, I don't think it's good for you right now. Not until you finish this grief healing. Go more green. All right, green, yellow, orange, a little bit more brighter. Okay. All right, meditation when it comes to the bittersweetness. I want you to imagine stepping into a dark hall. As you enter, the door behind you shuts closed. You may feel panic all of a sudden. After a few moments, you hear laughter down the hall. You recognize the voices. Wait a minute, I've heard them before. A door finally opens. You have reached your destination. Here you are, welcome. You finally enter the party, and the guests are toasting and celebrating you as you come in. Your friends put their arms around you and everyone's cheering your name. The hallway is lit up and it has your name among banner. How do you feel? Okay, so meditate on that. How do you feel? Do you feel bittersweet? Do you feel like you deserve to be there? Hmm. Do you feel like someone else should be there? Who is missing? Who are those people? There's something about that meditation that's gonna give you. I don't know. You might need to replay it a couple times back if you need to. All right, and then I'm gonna do this other one so that way you guys can do this other for the release. This other meditation. Ready? To do this meditation, you must have no distractions. No one screaming, yelling, no kids playing in the background. So try to do this around bedtime or do this like early, like when nobody's around, okay? Shadow, gray storm. Think of it. What does a shadowy gray storm look like? Simply ask as you sit and listen to what that storm sounds like. In silence, you will hear yourself murmuring, "Finally, I can say something out loud that I wish to say that was buried deep, deep down. If you sincerely seek your own freedom, you shall finally break free." Shadow gray storm comes by to finally free you from anything that is captivating you, or for you to finally release what makes you feel stagnant and stuck in the mud, for you to be washed and cleansed and freed away. All right. What comes to mind when that comes up in that meditation? And journal about that. That's going to help you with your grief healing and show yourself some compassion, y'all. Show yourself some compassion. All right. Let's see. Let's get into this love situation, okay? So for those of you that are in a relationship right now, so this is how I'm kind of reading these cards. From based off of from what I picked up on them, they will pick up on situations in regards to cutthroat closure, okay? This is not something to be, pussyfooting around with. All right. She tells the truth and it cuts, it stings, think of a cut and someone grabbing rum and throwing rum all over it. That's this one. Okay, I just want you to prepare for that. Okay, so now think of somebody that you have been dealing with physically, meaning you talk to them either every single day or every single week. All right, you're in communication with. And that's the only person that you think about right now, okay? You're in communication with this person. You talk to that person, all right? This is not a ghosting situation. This is not, I haven't talked to them in over a week, over a month, over a year, okay? This particular person, you want to know what card came out? Bottom of the deck. If their love language is chaos, it's time to mute the whole conversation. Drama, silence, jealousy, games, they don't need a translator. They need a therapist. You deserve peace, not a plot twist. There it is, bottom of the deck energy. And the card that came out is, the bare minimum is not romantic, it's lazy. Texting back is not a love language. Showing up without emotional depth is not effort. Stop giving Oscars for performances that would never even get a callback. You have some performers. All right, when it comes to love. So that's a harsh reality, and that's the karmic energy that you guys were dealing with, okay? the cycles and the past patterns. Okay. So for those of you, if that sounds like someone that you have been currently dealing with or recently dealing with, when I say recently, furthest back would be 3 months. Okay. That's some sort of closure, some sort of confirmation that you may have needed. All right. 1 second. Let's pull your money cards out and see what's going on for you guys. For money, what's my money messages? It's so crazy. I talked about the past and then the past came out. But now we're talking about past situations in regards to your finances. So something from the past is coming back. He said that there's opportunities and things of that nature as well. There could be money coming from things that you already did before. So this could be like reselling things or restocking things. This can be starting to do something that you did before that you stopped doing, okay? Or an offer that's coming back around. Oh, didn't I say yesterday something is being resuscitated? Something was being resurrected. Didn't I say something like that? Somebody might need to listen to that part. Pay attention that we have student here. So some of you guys could be going to school, deciding to go to school. You could be learning from other people, all right? You could be learning from this guardian, all right? You could be learning from a spiritual teacher, working with a mentor. Someone could be working with a mentor. Oh, we have angelic help. We have mechanic. Some of you guys could be working on cars and stuff like that when it comes to finances. Cars, when it comes to cars and money, think about how your money moves. Working on the movement of your money, the money flow, right? The direction in which it's flowing, the investments, where there could be any leaks, blockages, mishaps, just kind of like looks like a combing through of everything. Kind of assessing what's broken, what needs to get fixed, what's fine, what you don't need to really fix, kind of like basically doing like a checklist of all the financial things and that you need to invest in and things of that nature, or whatever that would look like for you guys. It might not be necessarily a vehicle, but it could just be, things that will help you to progress with your plans, okay? I like the fact that you guys got angelic help. That's funny because they closed it. That's crazy. We have investment as the last one. And that's crazy because that's right on top of the bare minimum. Not romantic is lazy. So you need somebody that's going to be able to put their money where their mouth is. And put that energy in the direction that they walk in. Flat out like that. Because it looks like finances is actually going to start growing for you. And however, it don't matter however that looks like for you guys, because each and every one of you guys, that's going to look different, right? Your reality is going to be different, but we're all a part of this crow flock. So therefore, this crow flock is about to get rich, bitch. Curly's looking hella fine right now when it comes to money. Okay? We're looking really good when it comes to money. Making money moves. Okay, you're looking good. All right, that's good, especially when it comes to investments. So wherever you're putting your money or wherever you're thinking about putting your money, yeah, it's exactly where it needs to go. And the combing through things is just making sure like you dotting your I's, crossing your T's, make sure that you don't owe nobody nothing, and also have enough to be comfortable sitting back on, but also have enough to also invest in whatever you're about to plan to do next, right? You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm seeing. So like you walking in, you giving this energy, Crowley, of you walking in, kind of Phoenix energy, right? Because I talked about the deer And the rabbit, I want to say was a hare because it was pretty big. It didn't look like a little, it didn't look like a little baby rabbit. It looked like a gray hare. Um, and when I was passing by it, I reflected upon the hare and the tortoise because yesterday I was talking to some client or something like that, and she pulled a turtle or something like that, and I was thinking about that, and I'm wondering if like there's something here about like I just want to do this quick. I just want to do this quick. I want to be able to do this. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Versus like trying to take my time and not get there in time. Um, but the fact that the crow was eating the hare and the hare uh, got there quicker. So there's something about like your spiritual team is actually your enemies think that they're going to get to some sort of destination or get some sort of blessing or get something before you, get access to something before you, get access to a particular room or some sort of happily ever after before you. But what happens is your spirit guide meets them at the door and eats them spiritually. It's like they eat their ego. Like you can't come in. This is not for you. This is actually for Crowley. Like, you know. And so like you're actually getting angelic help. So there may be certain things that's happening that you kind of feel as if it is a pattern or something because it feels familiar. But I think that that is the distraction for your enemy, not for you. If you get what I'm saying. So hold on, let me get where the heck is the tarot cards at here? Because this is getting really interesting. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It's getting real interesting right now because I'm seeing angelic help and it's not like on some you're protected and I'm not telling you how you're protected and because sometimes we're not supposed to know how we're protected, right? But I'm seeing in the next 2 days there's something that you have to pay attention to. Like you have to pay attention to the signs because the signs are actually telling you something. Like what's going on in the next 2 days for them? We have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, there's some sort of energy or movement with the Queen of Cups. So something is about to like stir up your feelings, which makes sense because they talked about the anger, something provoking anger. And they talked about your boundaries, healthy boundaries. They also talked about the fact that you were dealing with grief. And so it's almost like between the anger and the grief comes out an explosion or an eruption, all right, or a disruption with your emotions and how you're processing something. Because, like, you're very sensitive, right? And I know that word could be a little testy for some of you guys, but when I say sensitive, I mean you can pick up and detect a lot of energies very quickly, and that can overwhelm you. Okay, I'm not saying that your emotions are invalid or you're overreacting or anything like that. I'm just saying because you're picking up so many frequencies and vibrations, think about being in a room and your ears are sensitive and you hear these people over there screaming and someone's whistling over there and someone is beatboxing over there and then you got kids all the way down blah blah blah, but you can still fucking hear and you're just like, oh my god, my ears, I gotta get out of here, like this is a lot, this same thing but energetically. Some of you guys, it will be more on the emotional sense than just energy, because energy is just like what kind of like how it feels when somebody brushes up against you. That's energy, right? Or people will call it wind, air, nothingness, right? Metaphysicalness, right? That brush up, that you're feeling the energy shift, you're feeling the chills, you're feeling the heat, you're feeling like something just shifted in the room, right? Versus emotionally, when someone's coming in, highly depressed, stressed out about life, stressed out about money, stressed out about relationships, or just, maybe even suicidal, maybe going through, maybe having arguments with people and stuff like that, having arguments within themselves and stuff, and they're hanging out with you. That energy is so potent and so heavy and so strong that it does shift your frequency when it's around you. It does kind of waft and it hits you, and like you're like, whoa, damn, what the fuck just happened, And so this is why you have to get your mind and your spirit right, because sometimes you can't change an environment. You can't change a whole area code. You can't change a whole city, right? Sometimes you can, yeah, maybe you can swap out your roster of who the fuck you hang out with and shit like that. But sometimes you're not gonna be able to do that at work. You're not gonna be able to do that with family. You're not gonna be able to do that with people that, you know, you just gotta, I don't know, maybe do some sort of business with or whatever. So that being said, this is how they want you to protect yourself, but to also have the discernment to be able to detect, like, wow, around you, I might need like a black obsidian and a black tourmaline and some selenite, right? Around you, if I party around you, well, then I know for the next 3 days I gotta cleanse real heavy, right? Around you, I know that if I have any plans, I can't say anything out of my mouth until the ink has dried and I already got the money in my fucking bank account and nobody can take it back from me. It's like one of those things where like you got to know your spiritual taboos, what you got to what spiritual defenses you have to armor up, right? So think about like when you get a home or you're renting a place, you want to make sure you get renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance or car insurance, things like that, to ensure that spiritually you have to ensure your fucking essence, ensure your auric field. Make sure that these motherfuckers ain't gonna fuck up your chakras. Make sure that they're not gonna fuck up your manifestations and your plans because you stepping on business. You come in with your money where your mouth is. You're investing, and they're coming with the bare minimum because they're lazy. They don't have the same willpower as you, and the dedication and the devotion and the movement the way you do. And so that's how you protect your energy spiritually in your mind most of all, because that is your manifestation maker. That's where you see everything. That's where you get all the downloads. You get what I'm saying? And so nurturing yourself mentally. So mental health, spiritual health is actually one. That is wellness. It is all together. It is not separate. Emotional and mental health is not separate. Physical and spiritual health is not separate. It is one. All of these are one. It is all together. It's all supposed to be a working chain. If I could create a new modern healed version of what a actual clinic would look like, because it wouldn't be a hospital, it would be a clinic, because it would be a check-in. I don't think that we should be treating diseases. We should be actually checking in before it even becomes a disease. Okay, first of all. Anyway, from what I'm saying here is it should be, making sure a one-stop hub. Okay, you have your medical, the people that that can do your scans and stuff like that, if ever need be. That should be a own little hospital right there. There should be another little building that should be there, all mental facility. Probably different layers for different things, right? But then there should also be a spiritual clinic that can have spiritual root work doctors, spiritualists that can go in there and be like, hey, I'm looking in your energy, and baby, you don't need to go to the hospital. I mean, you can go there next door after you talk to us and make sure, cross your T's, dot your I's, everything good. But I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing some sort of generational curse here that you holding on to in your back. This causes some back problems. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this, and that. And we're going to go ahead and sit down with this side of the family and make sure this is getting squashed and make sure this is getting said and make sure this is not reoccurring over and over again in this side of the family. And then that's how that's going to heal. And when that doesn't keep happening, you'll start seeing that that illness is gone. Because it's something spiritual that is what? Being transferred into the physical. Because it is one. You get what I'm saying? Are you guys understanding what I'm saying right now? Because a lot of these things have been holding you back. A lot of these things have been holding you back. And now pay attention to those indecisions. And the reason why you're having the indecision in the first place. Pay attention to those signs. The time period that happens, and you're actually supposed to be more fearless at that time. But what happens is that you get some sort of insecurity, some sort of fears come up. And sometimes, remember I said, you're energetically sensitive. Sometimes those fears are not even yours. You over here, let's say you have this dream to be a singer and a musician or something like that. And then you have people around you that haven't made it, that feel like failures, that may actually be failures, okay, in something, anything. And then they hold on to the energy of them failing instead of trying to drop that, eliminate that, and try again and again and again until they actually succeed. Again, laziness. You know what I'm talking about? Okay? And all they do is talk and talk and talk. The karmic energy and the loops and the patterns. Oh, but then you told me that you was going to do this thing, and oh, but I didn't fall through, so now I'm going to do this other thing, and oh, okay. But they're the same type of people that will sit there and be like, you can't do that. Are you sure? How are you going to do that? I don't know. I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you everything that's possibly going to go wrong, and then you sit there, boom, indecision. There, you sit there and you be like, this is a risk. It was never a risk when it was already yours. I talked about the snake charmer, y'all. I talked about it yesterday. Wake up. Yeah, we have secrets, harm, hidden agenda. The high priestess is in the reverse. Come on now. Fake high priestess energy. Scamming ass people that swear I'm super intuitive. I'm spiritual too. Ooh, look at my crystals, blah, blah, blah. Bitch, you don't know what crystal that is. What is it called? What does it do? What element does it hold? How long have you had it? When's the last time you cleansed it? How do you cleanse it? What shop did you buy from? They can't answer half of those questions. You get what I'm saying? Where you can literally reference people, reference websites, reference freaking screenshots. Because I know y'all got libraries filled with them. Because if I do, I know you do. All right, let's see. I'll give you all these last ones and I'm out of here. Some goddess messages. True love. So it's, again, going right back to pouring right back into you. Because that bittersweetness, some of you guys got some love coming in, though. Some good love. Sensitivity came out. This is the third time I'm saying something about being sensitive. You are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships. Okay? Avoid harsh environments. Avoid harsh situations and chemicals. Okay? So this is not the time, my girlies, this is not the time for you to be dyeing your hair, perming your hair, doing whatever the fuck you're gonna do to your hair that could possibly not be necessarily natural, okay? So protective hairstyles will be it for right now. Strengthening your hair, things of that nature. Kind of getting away from pressing or heat, okay? Again, this green is coming with the pink. A lot of pink and greens. All right, softer, brighter colors. This is like a minty green, kind of. I'm digging it. It's nice. And then that's like that's not like a hot pink. That's like a peachy pink. Like a peachy pink. or like a baby pink. What is that called? Like a soft pastel pink could be significant. All right, in terms of colors that can help you. That's giving like rose quartz color, and then that green is also giving like aventurine, right? So those crystals could be significant. Asking for help is also significant. Stop doing everything yourself. Ask for help. Say, hey, can you do something for me? But make sure that you ask in the people that are actually going to put in the energy. Don't ask the people that do the bare minimum. That's where you go wrong. You don't want to invest in a project that's going to flop. You want to invest in something that's going to succeed. So you don't want to, you know, get all the lazy people to try to build up your business, because it's never going to happen. You don't want the people that are inexperienced to do something for you that you want well done, because that's not going to look good, right? So you need to make sure that you're actually investing in quality versus quantity. Quality versus quantity. And then we have a past life situation here for you guys. So I'm going to end it off with the fertility, because I told y'all finances are looking good. Finances are looking real good with that suitcase. Y'all can read it for yourselves. It's looking real good. But again, look at that. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize it has two hairs in the image. And I talked about the one hair being in the carcass. The carcass is the one hair in the road. So, and then underneath that is prosperity. Come on, y'all, with compassion. It's everything's there. It's all written. Like, period. As you're healing, the more comes. And if you guys have already, for the Crowleys that have already started to see the things start actually falling into place the way you actually wanted it, it's literally slowly starting to like fall layer by layer by layer down. And it's all clicking. You're going to see even more the more you heal. Okay? You're going to see even more. What I was going to say with these eggs in the basket, I talked about the color lavender. She's wearing a lavender dress and a lavender turtle amulet, from what I see here too. She has all these eggs in one basket. Okay. So it is the perfect time for you to start new projects. Access those new ideas we've been sending to you. Stop accumulating all the ideas in the basket and letting it sit there for use. And give birth to the new conditions. What the fuck did I say yesterday? Give birth to the new conditions that you wish to live in. Yesterday, I talked about what it would look like to live that life. All right. I think that you need to be open to receive, because everything is about to start flowing to you. Flowing and growing. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you on Monday. Peace.